Craig, how difficult was the decision yesterday?
Yeah, it's tough. Good friend, known him for a long time. You know, it's always hard when you lose somebody and things change, but we didn't perform well enough, and it's ultimately on me.
How did it get to this point then, do you think?
Well, the PP struggled all year, so it wasn't improving. We didn't see enough improvement. Obviously, results are what it's all about, and there definitely wasn't enough results. So, Tree and I talked, and we made a decision.
How much of that is on Matthews and Nylander and those types of players?
Well, it's on everybody. Like I said, it's on me. I'm the head coach.
What do you do going forward with the personnel today? You're going to have, it sounds like Derek's going to lead the power play.
No, it's a team. It's a staff. We'll look at the power play.
Okay. Any lineup changes for tonight?
Yes.
Uh,
Tanner's in.
and if it's-
Yes.
Did he get the clearance? What led to that decision?
Doctors communicating with him, but ultimately it comes down to his decision.
You've had, in this spring, Keith Pelley said you would probably have some more input into team decisions. Have you in your mind, and how do you think that's gone?
Like I said, Tree and I communicate on everything very well. And, decisions will be, we make decisions on what we both think is best for the team.
I just wanted to grab a few minutes of your time, obviously with the news yesterday with the decision with Marc Savard, and answer any questions you had. Obviously, those are never fun decisions to make or fun days. And I want to make it clear that, the decision of yesterday is not putting the blame solely at Marc Savard's feet. That's just totally incorrect. We've gone through a stretch here, specifically on the power play. If I look at that area, and obviously Marc had a big role in that in terms of his responsibilities. And you look at all areas of your team all the time, and that's something over the course of time as we monitor it and talk about it and discuss that we felt we made a change. We need to be better in that area. It falls on all of us. It falls on the players. It falls on all of us, coaches, management, everybody, in all facets of our game to be better. But in that particular decision, we just, after a lot of thought, just felt we needed to make we needed to make a change. We wish Marc all the very best. We thank him. It's even more difficult, quite frankly, during this time of the year. Those are, as I said, those are never fun decisions. But I fully believe that when you reach a decision, you act upon it. As for, I know we all get wrapped up on who's doing what. We will handle those responsibilities internally right now. Derek Lalonde will take a lead active role as we get through today, and then obviously we're going into a break, and we'll see, where we go moving forward, whether that's something that we handle internally or make an addition to our staff here externally. So with that, any questions that you have, let me know.
Did you make the call, Brad, to fire Marc?
Sorry?
Did you make the call?
Well, ultimately, I'm the manager, so you make the call, but I'm in constant discussion, right? I think, I know that we will all want to try to decipher, whose decision, right? Ultimately, it's my decision. But those are not done in a vacuum. You speak with your staff. Chief and I speak constantly through every day, and you speak with your management staff, and then ultimately you come to a decision.
It's been Matthews and Nylander. You guys have two of the most talented, offensive talented players in the NHL. Mm-hmm. How much does this fall on them that they haven't been able to make this work?
Well, you know what, Terry, falls on all of us. Sure. The players have a responsibility, right? And this doesn't absolve anybody. As I said, this is not, we throw somebody out and say, blame this person. It's a group responsibility. In this job, you always have to make decisions. So ultimately, it does fall back on the players. It falls back on all of us. But I just felt as we go through it, it was a change that we could make, right? It's a change that we could make to change the dynamic, change maybe a little bit of the play, how we go about our business in the power play, but make it clear, Mark or any coach doesn't operate in a vacuum, right? They talk, and there's a lot of group input, but ultimately you have to make a decision. And I felt in discussion ultimately with everybody that we just wanted we need to make a decision there.
It's so rare for an assistant coach to be dismissed mid-season, and just that, like, how much were you, as an organization or even yourself, feeling the pressure of the results recently, and how long did you contemplate?
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, David. It hasn't been good. So you look at different thoughts, right? I don't know if it's the pressure is. I don't look at it as a pressure. Ultimately, we're all judged by our results, right? And so I look at that particular area, and I don't want to just single out the power play, but it's been an area that, to me, has cost us points in the standings, right? So it's got to be better. And so you look at, if we're focusing just on the power play, you look at that, how can it be better, right? You try different formations, you try different personnel. I think the coaches are working real hard at it. And then ultimately you go down the checklist and you get to a point where you think, okay, I want maybe changing the messaging is something. And at the end of the day, you don't know how it's going to change everything. But again, it's not without a lot of thought, and a lot of deliberation on all sorts of fronts, but ultimately you make a decision and you move forward.
What has Craig's input been on some of these big decisions? Keith Pelly said back in spring that he'd be taking a larger role.
Well, I look at it, we don't operate in silos. Like Craig and I want to make it clear, I support Craig fully, right? I know when you go through tough stretches, whether it be the coach, the manager, that's part of the business, right? I think I did a press conference whenever it was. I think it was after 30 months ago, right? And, one of the narratives coming out there is a disconnect between the coach and I. There isn't a disconnect. We all have to be better. We all recognize that. But I think we got a real good coach. And we got to just continue to work together with the players and find our way out of it. But in terms of this, him and I discuss all decisions and go through a process where you have to communicate, and ultimately we came to this decision.
Brad, a bit off topic, but has Austin asked for a trade, or have you
No.
approached any of the trade protected guys
No.
yet to ask if they'll waive?
No, I haven't. Austin has not asked for a trade. No.
You provided Craig Berube with a vote of confidence on November 18th, and another one just now.
Excuse me?
So you provided Craig Berube with a vote of confidence on November 18th when you met with us, and another one just now. But how long did your vote of confidence remain with Craig if the losses continue to pile up?
Well, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals of what happens with this. We've got a good coach. We've got to continue to make our team better. We've got areas that we've got to get better in. It's not lost on us where the team's at. We live it every day. But I think we've got a real good coach. And that's not to say we don't change some things, tweak some things. We've done that over the course of the last couple of weeks. But when you get in these situations, you have to band together and you look for collective solutions. And that's what we're trying to do right now.
William's spirits were pretty down after the last game.
Sorry?
William Nylander's spirits were pretty down after the last game. It's kind of uncharacteristic for him. Have you noticed anything different in him in terms of how he's been or how he's been going about things?
No, I haven't noticed anything different. Listen, when you go through, the guys wear it. They care. And when you're going through a difficult time, nobody wears it more than the people that are living it, right? So I don't expect anybody to have high spirits when you're going through a difficult time. But a lot of this game is mental, right? We've got to focus on the areas that we can focus on to both individually and collectively. So part of the job is getting people, trying to get their mindset right? When you go through difficult times, the negativity, when you're going through a personal challenge in terms of going through a dry spell, obviously negativity, all the things that creep in, right? Doubt, all the rest of it. So part of that is trying to keep people positive as you go through it. But he wears it like all the players wear it right now. So now we just got to continue to muscle through it, right? You're going through it. We're going through one. So we got to continue to find ways to to be better, both individually. My job's to help with that, and we'll continue to do it.
Rob, when you look at approaching trade conversations or renewing them with certain teams, are you looking to make a trade at some point here to help salvage the season and still believe in the team's playoff chances? Or at some point, are you starting to look at making moves to get the most out of some assets and look to next year?
Yeah, I don't think we're turning the page right now, Pierre, on the season. You continue to monitor your team. You know what's going on in the league. You're having discussions with different teams. So, we're not here waving a white flag. You always look at change, a lot of it. But again, for the most part, you have to internally I don't say all the answers are internally. You can always, if you can find somewhere to help your team from bringing a player in or making a deal, obviously that's what you look to do. But when you've got people that are underperforming, the best way to turn around is getting people playing to the level that they can. And that's where a lot of the lion's share of the work is. My job is to continue to talk to everybody and see if there's things out there that can help us. And that doesn't change.